Senior Chapel today, and it's Andrew working. Currently, Mrs. Neiman is his advisor, but she couldn't be here today, so I am thrilled to step in this role because Andrew was my advisor for the first 2 years of his Canterbury career. I've also taught him for 3 out of 4 years in French, and I had the distinct pleasure of traveling with him to France over spring break. That was a highlight of my life. It always is when I get to take those kids who've been studying for so long in class and wondering if they can actually go out and speak the language, to be able to get there and watch them speak and watch them enjoy seeing the Eiffel Tower for the very first time and all of the wonderful things. Andrew also, I got to serve on his independent project panel, which was another great experience because I had some of the best boeuf bourguignon I've ever eaten in my life. In case you don't know, Andrew is a wonderful, wonderful cook. So I'm excited to hear his chapel and give him a tweet. Please give me a warm up.
My search for a senior chapel has been a vast road trip through many topics and many ideas, which I think that's really normal for me. I think I went through about 10 in a week. I've thought deeply about what I truly want to discuss, and of course, my mom helped me with this quest. I'm up here doing something that I don't always do. It is an experience that I know I will remember. So today I want to talk to you about things that I've experienced in my life and why I'm grateful to have experienced them. Now, this is definitely not all of them. I was a little frustrated Wednesday night because I was about ready to throw the computer out the window. I had too many to think about. So here we go. My right ear. For all of you that know me, you know that getting me to hear clearly is like getting surgery. I've had nearly 5 surgeries on my right ear. If you've ever seen me turn around in chapel to hear someone on my right side, you now understand. I'm not crazy. Or trying to steer you down, one of those two. What I've taken from this is that I'm truly grateful for my left ear. I've learned to go with the flow and trust that my body can deal with its imperfections. So here's the first lesson. You shouldn't all have a part of your body nearly cut off. But when you go through an experience like that, you learn to accept your imperfections and understand that your body can have issues. Loss. When I look back at my life, some of the bigger moments involve loss. I lost my grandma at an early age and saw the physical demise of my grandfather over a span of 5 years. But what I don't do is sit back and realize there was a purpose in this. If I just sit around and boo-hoo over the fact that I have one grandparent left, I'd be really, really sad. But what I need to do is realize that I've had wonderful times with my grandparents, and I really did learn a ton. And I must say, I have a pretty awesome grandma. Only she would do that. So the lesson is accept loss. You won't be able to move on without so. Okay. The handshake. As someone who is really gruff, oh yeah, you would think I was a master at shaking hands. Truth, I really didn't. I learned that the hard way one day. My grandpa was in his bed at the nursing home, and I don't know exactly what prompted this, but we just shook hands. And he was pretty frail. I mean, he was I wouldn't say big guy, but he was a pretty big guy before. And his hands looked really, frail and weak. And I didn't want to hurt him, so I was like, that'd be really bad. So I went to shake his hand, and he gave me this look, and I thought I had just shot a cat. It was absolutely horrible. And he's like, what the heck was that? And well, not great. He was not pleased. So the lesson is have a good handshake, because you don't want to tick off a tenured judge. Okay, there we go. The Golden Girls. Nothing in the world of pop culture has made such a great impact. It forever changed my life. I mean, that's a lot to say, but I quote the Golden Girls all the time, and I believe that they got me through a lot of hard times. Some people think it's so stupid to be faithful to a television show, but it's a way of life for me. For Christmas, I got the whole box set. It came in a little purse, and I was really excited. It is a way of life for me. I look to these women and understand they need the same things. They went through death, love, loss, and a lot of cheesecake. I can relate to that. So the lesson is watch the Golden Girls, but in a more practical reason, learn to take notes from different sources. Just because it's a TV show doesn't mean you can just let it go. You can learn a lot from it. Okay. Food and photography. As seen in these pictures, I have been cooking since I was really, really little. I would take my little table and make food when I was about 5, or even a little older than that. And I would serve it to my family, and they always liked it. So I thank my parents for doing a good job of acting. Because it was nothing, it was just air. So the lesson is, even though this is a little cheesy, do what makes you happy. And eat and take pictures while doing so. Okay. The ocean. Whenever I'm near the ocean, I'm really happy. I tell my friends that being near the ocean is one of the only places on earth that I'm truly relaxed, and that says a lot for me. There's something about it that affects me. I'm thankful for that, because I really do need a place where I can have total peace. So the lesson is find your happy place, wherever it might be. Maybe it's sitting by the pool, sunning, which I just, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. But the ocean, there you go. Number 7, okay, here we go. Canterbury. I'm so happy that I've experienced good old Canterbury. I've never really described my first time here, but it was in the middle of construction, and I just had a really, really tough summer. It was kind of like a little ball of nerves. So that was an experience. But what I've realized is looking back on that kid, who was this little, anxious child, I'm still kind of like that, but I've grown so much. I mean, I went to France, which, as Madame said, that was such a great experience, and I couldn't fit everything that I've experienced here at Canterbury into this chapel because it meant so much to me. But as a whole, Canterbury has really changed my life. So the lesson is try new things. Maybe it wouldn't turn out. I mean, maybe I would have done these things and it would have been horrible. But for me, it turned out really, really well. So try new things. Okay, this is the really embarrassing story. Learning the value of money. So I like to do things. My parents, I go on trips and I drive a nice car, but I guess I don't know how to do high school math, so maybe I'm playing back Mr. Krieger. Because this week I bounced my checking account 4 times. Not once, not twice, not 3, but 4. And I guess what made it even better was that it was all for things less than $10. It was actually because, thank you iTunes, I'm trying to support artists here, and what do I get? There you go. But the moral of the story is don't think you're invincible. I have to say, I thought, I've got plenty of money in there, I'm covered. Nope, didn't happen. So don't think you're invincible. Stuff can happen. Okay, Greta and Alicia. Now, don't all get upset that you don't have a spot on my list. But when you have faces as adorable as these, I just love her hair. It just makes me laugh every time I see it. You get a spot. I know Greta through family, and I went to school and lived by Alicia. Greta has Down syndrome, and Alicia had an aneurysm at age 5. So Alicia, I saw the really big change in Alicia. But what both experiences have taught me is that I really owe who I am to these people. Don't get me wrong, I grew up with great morals, and I have fabulous parents. I learned a lot. But when you experience this firsthand, it's something that you really can't be taught. I really think that I owe my love of making people laugh and, my caring attitude to Alicia, because as I said, when we were 5, she had her aneurysm, and I wanted to take care of her because I didn't comprehend, what happened to my friend? And then Greta, just, as my mom knows, we get calls, and they're just such the funniest things ever when Greta calls, and we can see the relationship, and she's meant so much to me, and I've learned a ton. And I thank them. And the lesson here is just because someone might not be normal doesn't mean they don't have a lot to say. So in closing, the one thing that I have discovered through all of these experiences is how truly grateful I am to have experienced them. Life wouldn't be interesting if things didn't happen, or if everything was played by a certain book. And the one thing also that I've figured out is that I have wonderful family and friends. I got through all these experiences, but I also got through them with help from everyone else. Without that, I don't know if I would have had the strength to get through the loss of a loved one or bounce my checkbook. I cried with my dad at Kohl's. We were inside the store, and I told him, and I cried. He was getting a little upset at that one. So in true fashion, I thank you for being a friend and getting me through all of these times. Okay, if you want to play the clip, it'd be absolutely wonderful. Can I just click on it, or? No. I got no. How do I? Okay, there we go. Thank you. Wouldn't be a chapel without problems.
Nice elbow clapping. Is it not doing it?
I don't know. I think it's doing it. I think it is. I think it's going to do it. Oh, there we go. Oh, where's the volume? Where's the volume? No. Turn the volume. No. Okay, wait, I'll get the idea. Where's the music? Yeah, there's supposed to be volume.
Volume. Let's say.
We could sing.
I hear it.
They have great costumes. She looks pissed
Well,
off.
you get the idea. There you go. Thank you, Rachel.